was more than a civil rights lawyer. I was an activist. I was in the underground, in the resistance, but I practiced in the courts. And it was very testing, very hard. We won a few small victories, but the whole court, the atmosphere was racist, it was oppressive, the laws were bad. But we would try to use what little space was available to expose torture, to defend people from death sentence, to win a few small victories. And it was important that the courts functioned, but more and more the law was manipulated to bypass the courts. So I found being a lawyer didn't protect me against being locked up, thrown into solitary confinement, no court process, nothing at all, sleep deprivation, torture. It was very fierce, very hard. In many ways, yes. We've destroyed the system of apartheid. We've destroyed race as being the dominant theme of our society. We've opened up enormous opportunities for people, and we have a very open society. People speak their mind, and we have strong institutions. Our president steps down after 2 terms maximum. Elections every 5 years are free and fair. A very lively press, a strong judiciary, and very robust debate. So from that point of view, yes. But there's a lot of no as well. Because we still have huge unemployment, we have poverty, many black people on a very large scale, we have violence in the home, in the streets, in many aspects of our society. We have corruption that's very bad. I wouldn't say I expected not to have any of that. I think there are problems you find in many parts of the world that are very, very similar. I think in some areas there have been huge improvements. For example, in terms of the rights of gay and lesbian people who are different in terms of sexual orientation. There's much more acceptance of love and intimacy and human dignity in Europe and certainly in South Africa today. And in many other respects, there's concerns about injustice, about poverty, about unfairness in our own societies, elsewhere in the world. Issues like fair trade, concern about the environment become much more global than it used to be. And anti-racism measures, to quite a large extent, have had an impact. And we South Africans are very proud that Nelson Mandela became possibly the most famous individual in the world for the time when he was the president, that we set an example of humanity, of generosity, of embracing others. So in that sense, I think a lot has been gained, certainly in South Africa, and to the extent that he was so loved in Europe, said something about European attitudes had changed. But at the same time, there's no doubt about it, there's a lot of anti-immigrant feeling. Asylum seekers are not treated as international law requires. They ought to be treated. There's a lot of narrowness, a lot of chauvinism to be found in Europe as is to be found in other parts of the world. Now the first thing, I'd say smile a little bit more, sing a little bit more, have a little more lightness. It's very serious to be a human rights defender, but it doesn't mean you have to be very serious with a long face and full of lamentations. Enjoy some of the virtue of life, the energy. And one thing that sustained us in South Africa, even in prison, even at funerals, even in the darkest moments, we sang, we moved, we danced. And so I would say, try not to lose that energy. Otherwise you burn yourself out very, very quickly and you become exhausted.